here and draw a little shadow here, just to help him stand out a little more. And then that doesn't, this is such a nice light marker, it doesn't really affect, you know, anything that it touched. So I really like it. And it wears out. I have to turn it upside down so it puffs back up a little bit. Okay, so now we're going to work on the toolbox. And I usually just hand cut that and then do some scoring. So I've got a piece of scrap black here, and I just kind of guesstimate, you know, we're going for the whole like snap-on toolbox kind of thing. I'm going to square up my paper here. This is just a scrap, and it's not very level, so I'm going to square that edge up. And then we're just going to make a toolbox, and I just kind of guesstimate. You don't want them to be too terribly big because my man is not that big. And then there's usually a bottom chest and then a top chest. So typically what I do is I just make the top chest a little bit smaller. So there'll be my bottom chest and my top chest. And then this top chest piece needs to be a little shorter. Do it just like that. And then I think I will just score. I could score, or I could cut, you know, individual little drawers and put on there. But that's just going to take extra time. So let's just score so we can go along with it. Alright. Typically the bottom chest has these kind of big drawers, so, and since I didn't really measure, let's say I could get 3/4, 1, 2, 3/4, 1, 2, 3/4, yeah, that's not really, let's do maybe 5/8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And what we'll do is, since this drawer is ended up being a little bigger, it will be the bottom. And then usually the little top chest has thinner drawers. So I'm going to do them at 3/8. See how that works out. Pretty good. And then that one ended up being smaller, and it's just going to be the top. And that will be just fantastic. Alright, so let's bring our card back in. Get rid of some of this other junk. Alright, now our tool chest is going to need wheels, and typically they are black and gray, but since we have all this gray business going on, I probably need to do them with something else. So I'm going to do them in brown, just for something different. And then we can do the wheels. Let's use this this darker gray for the inside of the wheels. That will be just fine. So that was a 3/4 inch for the wheel and 1/2 inch for the little hubcap on the wheels. So we're just going to get some adhesive on here, and we'll kind of figure out based on the size of our toolbox here. Boy, those look kind of big. I'm going to tuck them under a little bit. Then we can glue down this big piece. Okay, and then our little hubcaps. Now if you're doing really small pieces, you can just run the adhesive over them together. That works really good. And then just pull them off and tuck that extra adhesive in behind. Then we're just going to poke those on there. Okay, I'm not level with my toolbox. Look at that, it's crooked. So this edge needs to come down just a little bit more. There we go. I'm not a very good driver with my ATG gun, so tuck that in and rub off the woolies. Alright. Now, all these little drawers usually have a little handle. So I have chosen a Bic Market, just a metallic, oh no, this is an At the Office metallic marker. And just come in here and do the little handle for the drawers. Doesn't have to be perfect, it's a homemade card. So there we go. I'm going to add an extra little thing right there. And then we need to finish up our little tools. So I'm going to take those and my little crescent wrench. And actually, this was the tool belt right here on the die. And I took this odd little punch, it's this shape right here, it's printed on the thing right there, and just took a bite out of that right there with this, where'd it go, with that little shape. And I think that looks like a crescent wrench, so that's what we're going to do with that. And I'm going to take my Bic Market and just make a black handle for the screwdriver. And then I'll probably use the gray. We'll just put a little dot. Well, what a sloppy dot. Alright, I need to turn that over. And use the other side. And then I'm probably just going to highlight just right inside there a little bit. So there's my wrench. And then we need to do the same thing here. I'm just going to color that a little bit. And maybe I could give this one a handle too. Actually, let's just do a red handle on this one. Just make it a little different. Tools have all different color handles. All right. Okay, I'm going to have to raise up the hands to put the tools in there. So just use this little blunt edge of my quick stick pen so I can get underneath there. And I should have highlighted my screwdriver a little better. So I'm just going to color the tip of it gray there. And I would like to put this tool in that hand, so I think I will, but it doesn't have enough. It's not going to show up on my gray background. You know what I'll do is I'll use my nice little brown. Here, I'm just going to turn that brown. How about that? Alright, so we have to do the same thing. I've got to get in here and lift up the hand. So put some glue on this. Oh, and it's stuck to my finger, so that'll be just fine. There we go. And I'll glue my little wrench up there. It's not really in a natural place right there, but it's going to show up good against the contrast of the toolbox. So I think that will be just fine. I'm just going to lay it up there. And we all know it wouldn't be outside the drawer, but that's fine. And then I'll do a big happy birthday. Which I have a nice big happy birthday from the Paper Studio birthday cupcakes set. And I cut those in half so I could stamp them individually if I wanted to. Because they were one long sentiment, and sometimes I like for them to be offset, which is what I'm going to do today. And I'll use the StazOn ink for that. Make sure I got that all pressed good since we got our brick texture, and I need to re-ink my stamp. So anyway, there's my little man card, and I will stamp the back with my name and date stamp. If you have any questions, let me know.